How to draft an employment letter for a successful H-1B visa. Welcome to Voice of Immigration. I'm your host, John Veely, immigration attorney and CEO of OnlineVisas, the intelligent immigration platform. The H-1B has been a target of the Trump administration. Some companies received only 60% approvals. Staffing companies had even a harder go. We had a 95% approval rate for our H-1B visas, and we represented a lot of staffing companies. Many of our H-1B visas didn't even have RFEs. We found some companies said they got RFEs on every one of their visa application. What we do that's different than other firms is that we do a brief and not just a cover letter. What we do in that brief is we identify potential issues and answer them so that hopefully we don't get an RFE, and if we do get an RFE, we've already had one bite at the apple. One of the major issues that we will raise and deal with in our brief is the specialty occupation. One of the ways to deal with that specialty occupation is not merely through a brief, but in the employer's letter. Some law firms do not deal with the employment letter at all. They just have their firm give them one. We think that's a big mistake. What I'm going to do in this video is lay out how to write a really excellent employment letter. That employment letter should go through these processes. Number one, what is the job that is the most similar to a specialty occupation that USCIS respects? How does USCIS look at that? They have a database called the Occupational Outlook Handbook. What you do is you go to that website and you look for the job that's most similar to the job your client has. So if that job is like a software developer, you can go to software developer. If it's a job that's somewhat like software developer, like the guru of all things technical in our company, that's okay. The title can be whatever it is. What's more important is what are the duties. When you go to the OOH website, look for the most similar tasks. In the OOH handbook, you can type in what the job title is that you think it's most similar to, and in there's 3 tabs that are important. There's a summary, there is the task, and there is the educational component. The tasks are somewhat named like that. When you go into the task-based summary, you can look at what they say a typical version of that job is. So if it's a software developer, it's going to lay out what those jobs are. Now, the worst thing to do is copy that and put that in your job description, because immigration will see that and they'll say, this isn't a real job. This came right out of the OOH. But what you do is you use it as a guide. And what it can help you do is organize those job duties. So you should divide the job duties into categories, right? Each category should have a percentage of time that equals 100%. Now, many jobs, you do all sorts of different things. I'm an immigration attorney, but here I am giving a video, all right? Now, that's the funny thing about this. Immigration wants you to have 100% of the time you use to be in your specialty occupation. What a specialty occupation is a job that requires a university degree, all right? So what you're going to look at is the educational component and which university degree or degrees are most similar to what this job needs. You want to find out if your employee has that degree or a similar degree. We'll come back to that in a second. So when you look at the tasks, you want to break it into the categories. When you break it into the categories, you want to describe specifically what they're going to do in that job. What you can do is use examples. You can talk about a particular project that they would be working on, or a specific project they'll be working on. Maybe the type of computer language that they'll be using, or if they're a professor, what sort of courses they'll be teaching, right? So in that, be as descriptive as you can. You do not need to limit into one particular thing and say they're going to do that for 3 years, but use some examples. That's a good way to do it. You want to use layman terms. These are not educated technical folks. If you have a technical job and you're going to put out a jargon of what type of computer language it is and use abbreviations for that, you're going to lose them. Speak to them like you're trying to describe it to your grandmother. Put again what the percentage of the job is, and then make sure you talk about what that degree that this job requires and how that job is most similar to the degree that your employee has. If your employee has the exact degree, say it. If your employee has a similar degree, say how the classes they took in their university led them to the knowledge they needed for this degree. These are the principles that you need to use to write an employment letter to win an H-1B visa. If you want more information about your company's H-1B process and you want to learn how we use Visas.ai, our immigration platform, to build these things, set up a strategy session at OnlineVisas.com. If you want to talk about a particular visa, whether it's for your company or for you, glad to talk about that also. If you want to learn more about the ever-changing world of immigration, go to OnlineVisas' YouTube channel and subscribe. Click like and share if you think it's good information. Also follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, Quora, and Facebook. I'm John Veely, CEO of OnlineVisas, the intelligent immigration platform.